Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Battletech, and me kinda, sorta, maybe, possibly, setting this up kinda little bad. Let's just put this back. I kind of, at the last minute, remembered something, and had to, I set these up at the bottom here, but I am playing the Battletech game. The tactical RPG one because it plays more like the actual tabletop one, and because I actually legitimately like this game. So, welcome everybody. For those who do not know, May the 20th is when us dirty Inner Sphere players uh, get to enjoy the fact that a uh, space working quasi-religious space AT&T company, space telecoms company, stopped a outer sphere invasion of uh, what is known as the Clanners at a little known planet known as Tukayyid. It's very entertaining because basically it was an underdog story where the telecoms company had pretty good mechs but very green troops against what was the clan's best and brightest that had been running roughshod all over the inner sphere up to that point, and they won, and it was not close. Highly recommend if you haven't. Um, Please go watch the. I linked it in my Discord, but you can find it on YouTube if you search Tex TEX space talks Battle of Tukayyid, based off the title you see here or on YouTube, depending on where you're watching this. And you will hear a very sassy, deep-voiced man talk about how fucking stupid the Clanners were to lose this battle. I super appreciate it because it's really hilarious as one of the odd men outs in my BattleTech group as a uh, Inner Sphere player. Um, but we're not talking about we're unfortunately I really wanted to do. I saw there was a mod once upon a time for the Battle of Tukayyid, but unfortunately there isn't necessarily a um that mod doesn't exist anymore. So instead, what we're gonna do is we're just gonna play through the campaign. This was something I had planned to do before. Um, it is just now I plan to do it as is. Um, and I'm doing it for charity. So this is starting me doing a charity drive for the year. I'm gonna do it every year, but this is specifically gonna cover this year. We're gonna be playing BattleTech off and on Sundays starting next month. This little overlay will probably not be there, and instead my PNG tuber will be there. But we'll still be doing it. But for today, specifically of all days, we will be continuing on with the charity stream. We're gonna be doing the charity stream, and on maybe select days I'll continue to do the charity stream. But this today specifically will be the day that I do a bigger form charity. So, as incentives for BattleTech specifically, and this can last throughout the entirety of the year, if you donate $20, I will rename one of the mech pilots to whatever you want. I can only bring 3 mechs at a time, so 3 other mechs besides myself at a time. So I'm going to try to keep it so that they are based solely on that. But if you go to my donation page directly, if you're watching this on YouTube, it'll be in the description. If you're watching this on Twitch, it'll be in the About section. You can go in there, look for incentives, and donate $20, and you can rename a Battletech. There's also a donation for $200 where I'll sit down and do a paint stream, but that one's more of a longer term thing, and I haven't figured out when I would be doing that paint stream. But it'll be like an 8-hour thing where I'll do 4 hours of painting and talking about Warhammer, and then take a bit of a break for lunch, and then spend another 4 hours painting and talking about Warhammer. No decision on what I'll be painting. It'll be kind of themed on whatever I'm doing at the time. But yes, so those are two of the incentives I have right now. Let me check to make sure I haven't. Now that I've said it out loud, sometimes these things just automatically get filled. Okay, they do not. I can make it part of the painting stream at the very least. If he's not done by then already. I know for certain it will not be a White Scar, and it will not be Custodes at that point, because my Custodes should be theoretically like done-ish, and White Scars are just really pain in the ass to paint. So, we're gonna get started. There will be breaks in between each mission where I need to stop so I can stop the recording and then start for the next mission. And there might be a little introduction there. There might not be. I think that I'll do an introduction and decide if I'm going to voice over it or not later. So, awesome. Good job. So yeah, I'm super excited to start this. So we'll go into it. So, we're going to do a new campaign. Custom difficulties, I think. We're going to skip the prologue. Because I don't want to bog you guys. I'll explain everything as it kind of goes along. We're not going to do mech destruction. Enemy force strength will be normal. Salvage will be normal. Mech warrior progression will be normal. I'm going to do contract payment generous just because I have gotten into a weird thing where it's like I'm not losing missions. I'm just cycling through them so that I can get some payment done, but it's doing is just slowing me down from doing the story. So we'll have generous contract payments, but everything else will be progressed normally. We'll make advanced mech warriors rare. I have to train up from the ground up unless I happen to find one. And lastly, we'll be doing an Iron Man mode. So it is possible for me to lose this, and if I do lose this, we'll just do another. We'll start another campaign with what we've learned. Should I complete the campaign, we'll do another campaign, but we'll make like enemy strengths harder, salvage rare, contracts instead of generous go to normal, stuff like that. But yeah, no saves coming, just one mission. Let's go. So let's go. So this first episode / mission will have a lot of like me nerding out because Battletech is somewhere between my second to third favorite setting. You have all the Warhammers, which I congregate under like one banner because I like Age of Sigmar, Fantasy, and 40k all about as much, and I know about as much about all of. I know more about 40k and Horus Heresy than anything else, but I do know a lot about Fantasy and Age of Sigmar as well. So those are you get the Warhammer settings.
I am Kamea of House Urano, High Lady of the Oregon Reach, Protector of Coromedir, and the Sword of Restoration. But I am not a hero, no matter what the stories say. A hero would have sacrificed more, compromised less. A hero would have done better. You know this, of course. You were there. My father used to tell me stories about the ancient times. About the Star League, a golden age of prosperity, upheld by the great mech warriors of old, Guardians of the innocent. Protectors of the peace. I always dreamed of following in their footsteps. I was too young to see the truth of things. After all, it wasn't heroism or a noble cause that won me the throne. It was hiring a mercenary, skilled enough, perhaps ruthless enough, to carry the day. Hiring you. I still don't know if you fought for honor or for the thrill of it, for belief in my cause, or just in my money. But whether it was your noble heart or mercenary mind, your actions gave us hope. That makes you a hero in the eyes of history. Whether you believe it, that's up to you.
Yep, so that's the intro to the Battletech storyline for this game. We are basically in the Argosian Reach, working, We're in this. It's a small reach created in this game. This is considered apocryphal lore for the Battletech community, but it doesn't also affect anything in the Battletech universe, so it's one of those, like, it's apocryphal, but most people treat it as canon. Apocryphal, Oregon. There we go. The Oregon Reach. So Battletech has this interesting... So 40K has this interesting thing with how it deals with non-canon lore, where it's based off of the main storyteller, the Imperium of Man, being a... How would you consider it? A untrustworthy narrator. So with 40K, because the Imperium is an untrustworthy narrator, things can change and be different. But with Battletech, what they have is apocryphal, which is basically that this is hearsay / propaganda / stories told, but not necessarily truth found. And that's basically where we exist. We exist in this apocryphal setting. Yeah, it's like 40K, but like legitimate. There's references in universe to characters watching the cartoon show or the Battletech cartoon show, which was fucking awful in the most glorious way, and it being considered just hearsay done by the telecommunications company to drum up support against clanners. It's super hilarious. So we're here on the outer periphery of the inner of the sphere of the Milky Way galaxy, the small kingdom in the RimWorld periphery. Region of space that lies on the outskirts of the densely colonized inner sphere is home to the Oregon Coalition, a federation organized around a parliamentary monarchy and ruled by the Arano family. Now, the thing to know is everything in Battletech is kind of run by families / monarchs for the most part. Sometimes those monarchs are emperors, like in the case of one of the inner spheres. Sometimes they're khans in the case of the clanners, but usually one person and their family leads a thing. Clanners are a bit special in that it's one khan, and the khan is technically a meritocratic position given to them, but they also practice eugenics and other horrific things, so we're not going to get into details about why the clanners suck. But yeah, so let's hit the next. So it's here the story begins. We're going to fill in. All right, so decades ago, your character came to the Reach from one of these places. So the first 5 are the Inner Sphere powers. These guys are the assholes that cause every single problem that happened in the Battletech universe, and I love all of them dearly. Even Liao, the Compellans, but I'm going to make fun of the Compellans all of the time. These 4 are probably my favorite factions, though. They're the outer sphere, the periphery states, and they typically tend to get, like, They typically tend to be um the punching bags of the universe. So I'm gonna go through each of them real quick, just to 60 seconds per, and try to go through it. So the first faction, and the one that I fell in love with when I first played the game, is the Draconis Combine, based off of Japanese culture mixed with a little bit of Russian Marxism. Um, they're very ethically diverse. They have a lot of mechs that are very samurai and Japanese based. They have a whole pillar system with 5 pillars, led by the Emperor, who is part of the Kurita family. They are until the clanners happened, they were basically like one of the 2 big bad guys, and they're kind of assholes. And not kind of, I mean very much assholes. Um, a lot of problems that happen tend to happen from them. For instance, the first Succession War, which is one of 4 big, great intergalactic wars, and this one was by far the most detrimental. Or the Great Secession War, as it was called, was started off by the Draconis Combine. They are pretty rough and nasty group. They tend to rule through power and force, and their mech warriors do tend to be a bit on the powerful side, but their strategies do tend to be pretty straightforward. Including one famous one where they had the Unleash the Bee strategy, where they would get tons of light 20-ton mechs and just throw them and try to overwhelm somebody with numbers, or run them out of ammunition so the bigger, heavier mechs can come up and try to take care of them. Next is the Free World Leagues. Merrick. They're Austro-Hungarian, but they sort of work a bit more like the United States, in that they are a bunch of smaller star systems that form together to form a larger league led by the House of Merrick. And usually they're not really led by the House of Merrick. The House Merrick is generally the captain general who leads the military, and because he leads the military, he tends to also be I'm gonna give credit to Battletech in being ahead of its time. I keep saying they, because there are just as many female leaders of House Merrick and the Draconis Combine as there are male ones, though I will admit House Kurita tends to have more male leaders than female leaders, but they are not above all the men are dead, so a Empress is in charge. How Free Worlds League has had as many female leaders as they've had male leaders from House Merrick be the ones that have been Captain General. In fact, one of the most bloodthirsty ones was a woman whose son was killed, and she went on a rampage that destroyed a lot of people. So House Merrick is kind of like Austria-Hungary meets the United States, and they are usually good about trying to have equality and justice. They're not the best at it, though. They do tend to have a huge problem where they can kind of get a little... they can have generals that are very clever, and they're usually followed by 2 or 3 generals that are really, really bad at their jobs. I do like Free Worlds League. America's a pretty good... they tend to be more chaotic good, neutral good than evil in the setting, but let's be clear, this is the same as 40k. Everybody in these 5 can be pretty fucking evil when they want to be, and war crimes tend to be par for the course. These guys tend to be evil because they have to be, because these 5 assholes exist. So yeah. Overall, if you like your Eagles, you like your freedom, and you like justice, you'll tend to like the Free Worlds League. Mech warrior wise, they tend to have about a standard quality and strength, but they tend to be very good at working together rather than trying to overpower people. Asdavian, the quote-unquote good guys of the setting. Not really, there are no good guys in the setting, but they are kind of protagonist-coded. These guys usually are losing until the plot decides they need to start winning. And boy, oh boy, did they not start winning until the 4th Great Secession War. So this is a republic of systems that is led by a captain general who tends to rule through martial law. This is led by an emperor. House Davion tends to be actually a constitutional monarchy where there is it's kind of actually like Great Britain's House of Lords and House of Commons, except instead of having all under the House Davion like monarch bloodline. But the difference is that House Davion doesn't tend to take from the constitutional part of the monarchy. When a first prince of the Davians goes to lead, good night. When the first prince of House Davion goes to lead, they do not tend to take shit from other people. They just tend to go and do. But they do tend to be meritocratic in that their generals tend to be quite competent, and they have done the best at trying to preserve their industrial base in order to keep cranking out mechs and armies. So they also do tend to be done from the POV and the protagonist, which does make them generally better, but not always better. They do see themselves as righteous, though, and I believe Space Catholics exist in Davian space, but I don't remember. Library Commonwealth, the Steiners, they are German, and they have German engineering and lots of money, but not lots of sense. Arguably one of the biggest and heaviest mechs in the setting is called the Atlas. It's the one you see on on most of the art for Mech Warrior games and Battletech games in general. This is a heavy 100-ton mech. It does not move fast. It does not move quick, but it does tend to have a lot of firepower in taking stuff down. House Steiner is joked as using them as scout mechs to go and scout a position, because you don't have to worry about your scouts being overwhelmed if they weigh 100 tons and have thicker armor than the 20 tons mech have on the entirety of their bodies. But this kind of leads to them sort of throwing numbers at the problem. They don't tend to play. When you get a smart Steiner general, people start to have problems. The problem is smart generals don't tend to live or hold their positions very long. Because the fun fact, the person who stopped the clanners at Tukayyid, what this charity is based off of, was from House Steiner initially. So, you know, there could be smart generals who are very good at doing what they need to do in order to succeed. That is a rarity, not the norm. However, they make up for this by sheerly having a good military base, strong industrial system, and raw numbers to overpower people. I have friends who really like Steiners, and I'm super happy that they do, but fully admit, House Steiner is, for me, one of the two big joke factions because they are well known for just silly, losing for silly reasons. The Capellans are Space China, but the People's Republic of Space China, not feudal China. They have secret police. They have full indoctrinations. It is basically the designers take a look at 1990s, 1980s Russia and base the Capellans off of that. And it kind of works. They're one of the smartest of the 5 factions, but that doesn't make them the weakest. Often their stuff tends to be cobbled together and kind of thrown together, and they can tend to make weird models, but they also are typically good. Those people who become generals and leaders tend to make really clever and smart decisions, especially the first Succession War. The Capellans were beating House Davion and they were holding back. or they were holding back House Davian. Oh no, they were beating House Davian and holding back Merrick for a bit. They had a lot of really good ways of playing, and they playing the war games, but they do tend to be known as the Snakes. Um, it's said that a Capellan's favorite place to sheath a knife is in your back. So they're they have a thing. You're not born a citizen of the Capellans. You have to earn it. You have to take a test and pass it. If you fail, you're given 2 years of rework, and then you have to take the test again. If you fail it the second time, you were no longer considered a citizen, and you were treated like basically slave labor. Often given suicidal tasks in the military, or treated as slaves for working fields and agri worlds and stuff like that. Like Capellans, not the like they. When I say there's like two pretty good evil like I would say Kurita and Liao are well known for being evil factions. Steiner and Merrick are known for being neutral, and Davian tend to be good. These are in the relatives to Battletech. Everybody can commit as many war crimes as they want. Nukes are not considered off the table here. So those are your 5 major factions. Majesty of Canopus is Space Vegas. It is an entire series of a free life, but they do tend to live like they're led by a magistrix. They have a whole house, Centrella, which is they're largely run by females. Oftentimes the people tend to have a lot of personal liberty and live their lives how they want, which kind of leads the whole area to be well known to be like Space Vegas. Yeah, that's basically all I have to say about it. They're out of periphery. They're not quite as strong as these 5 guys, but they do tend to be pretty profitable because these 5 guys go to vacation out here. They tend to win not through force of arms, because they just don't have the size to win, but rather being clever and playing in ways their opponents don't expect. They play a bad hand, but they can play it really well. Torian Concordat. This is probably my favorite faction after just being a merc in Battletech. These guys are Space Texas. They are very stubborn and aggressive, but they just want to be left alone. Of the periphery worlds, they're the ones that are like, if we want to protect our lands, we need to make a military to protect our lands. So they can tend to be very stubborn and aggressive because they know they have a military. Like, while they're too small to want to really deal with outside of the RimWorld wars, they do tend to exist in such a way as to be they don't give in to the propaganda of the inner sphere. They tend to build their own stuff, their own warships, their own fleets, and they tend to fight in such a way that it makes it very hard for other factions to deal with them, especially one-on-one. They were the last faction to be conquered, and it took a massive effort in order to overpower them and take and cow them in the original RimWorld periphery. So they tend to be really cool, and I tend to like them a lot. 1 second. RimWorld periphery, it's hard to characterize. They're kind of a bunch of minor factions put together. Yes, guns, and more guns is a good way to do Torian Concordat. RimWorld periphery, if I remember correctly, a bunch of like small factions come together to protect themselves. They used to be a big power, but now they're kind of more pirates and bandits trying to survive after basically the First Succession War just destroyed them. But it destroyed them because they were doing trade with Inner Sphere factions, and those Inner Sphere factions were so busy drafting all the ships that were being used for trading to fight this war that they kind of died off. So now they're more, you know, rebel nobles, bandit kings, pirate bands, and merc lords kind of put together to because they have to survive. They have to do what they can to survive. Deep Periphery, there's not a lot about them. They're basically small colonies when the initial push to go to the edges of the galaxy exists. They're small colonies that exist there. There's not a lot known about them, so I'm not going to really talk about them much. You can kind of, if you're playing somebody from the Deep Periphery, you're kind of just, you're a colony that has gone off the rails. And because of that, you've had to become self-sufficient. So whether you have a small band of like 2 or 3 systems that do trade with each other, or you're one system off alone, just working out with like no more than maybe 2 or 3 million people on the entire planet, that's just kind of what the Deep Periphery is. There are other factions at different points throughout the game, and it's important to know that, but this is, I believe, close to just before the Clanner invasion happens, but after, I believe, the 3rd or 4th Succession Wars. I think it's the 4th. It's just after or just during the 4th one. We're gonna play Torian Kagardate outside of being a my favorite faction currently is also just, that's going to be where we come from. It'll actually be really useful because there is Torian Concordate actually is a close faction to the Oregon Concordate, so we're going to go with this. So next. You are of noble birth. Though immigrants to the Oregon reach, your family soon established a comfortable presence in a small backwater system on the edge of the Oregon space. By the time you were born, your family had become the de facto ruling nobility of the system only inhabited planet. You were the eldest child, heir to the family's titles and ancestral battle mech, an old Blackjack BG-1. This is where you met Raju Mastiff Montgomery, a veteran of the Succession Wars, whom your parents hired on for a season to train you as a mech warrior. Raju was a strict but capable teacher, and you quickly became a skilled pilot under his tutelage. It was an uneventful life until the day of your 16th birthday, when you were exiled. This is actually important because these affect your stats. The last ones affect some social standings and social questions you can answer. These actually affect different stats, so we'll go over them briefly and how they affect the game. So gunnery is how well you can hit a target. Each gives you a little percent increase to shoot, but in the game it's a pretty bigger increase to shoot. Tactics is how efficiently you can do called shot. Is a bit different in the game, but in the tabletop game. But for this game, it's basically how you can do called shot and how to reduce the penalties for indirect fire and improve minimum range fire shots. Because some weapons do have a minimum range, some weapons have a maximum range, and minimum range your shoots get weaker and weaker. So, yeah. Next is piloting. This is very straightforward. It improves your threshold for stability, and it allows you to take good pilot checks. This also affects your melee. What it does is it makes it easier for your character to make certain maneuvers that would require a piloting check. In this game, it's mostly just better melee, better sprint movement, and when your mech gets hit a lot, it can get unsteady, and basically that threshold is higher the higher your piloting is. Good. Improve the maximum health of your mech warrior. It also reduces the penalty from weapon recoil and increases the threshold of hit that triggers overheating. This is just basically all the other stuff. think that's all the stats, yeah. Um, so, gunnery and tactics. Is there a piloting in gunnery? That would be kind of broken, I'm not gonna lie. We're gonna go with, I like playing a skirmisher for the main character. And I like having good gunnery so I can hit targets. So we're gonna go with your family was betrayed. Family was betrayed, and it's each one. You were exiled. Once the promising young scion of your family, you committed an unforgivable transgression and were sentenced to life in exile. You stole away with the family's ancestral blackjack and set off to find a new life to call your own. You struck out on your own. As the heir to a noble family, you grew up wanting for nothing, and it turns out you couldn't stand a life of pampered nobility. Finally, one night, you stole away the family's ancestral blackjack and set off to find a new life to call your own. Your family went bankrupt. As you grew older, you watched your family's fortune and income and influence slowly dwindle away, till there was nothing left. Your parents, driven to despair, took their own lives. With nothing but your family's ancestral blackjack left to call your own, you set off to make a new life for yourself. Your family died in an accident. The rest of your family died in a freak jump ship accident, after which you discovered they had left nothing behind but piles of debt. After selling everything to settle the debt, you set off on your own with only your family's ancestral blackjack left to you. And it's important to note that mechs are passed down family for family, so it's a big deal if you were like exiled and you stole the blackjack, or you struck off on your own and you took the blackjack with you, because that's a big deal. Because they are passed down through a lineage. And then lastly, your family was betrayed. Your family was betrayed and its seat of power destroyed you. You defeated the betrayers, but you were the sole surviving member of your house. With nothing but your family's ancestral blackjack left to call your own, you set off to make your new life. So this is what... These also had different social cues that help out as well. I don't know, you fell into a life of... And then each of these provide a different buff. One second. The Oregon Coalition soldier. Unsure of your prospects, you traveled to Coromador. The capital of the Oregon Coalition, and enlisted in the Coalition military. You quickly rose through the ranks, distinguishing yourself as a reliable mech warrior. Life as a soldier wasn't glamorous, but it suited you just fine. Frontier pirate. Tired of living under the authority of others, you fell in with a local pirate gang in the RimWorld periphery. It was an unruly crew, but an effective one. Roaming the periphery afforded you your outfit with a steady supply of poorly defended merchant caravans and supply depots to prey upon. While raids did occasionally devolve into combat, you quickly learned that the successful piracy is mostly about being in the right place at the right time with the right threats and a good show of force. Solaris Gladiator. You took your skills as a mech warrior to the famed arena planet Solaris 7. There, you eked out a living as a gladiator, fighting for the crowd in minor arenas, getting by from paycheck to paycheck. Inner Sphere Merc. Eager to get away from it all, you joined up with a minor Inner Sphere mercenary unit. Integrating into the tight-knit crew took time, but you eventually proved your worth and became part of the family. Frontier Freelancer. You roamed the RimWorld periphery as a freelancer, signing on for whatever odd contracts you could find as a mech warrior for hire. It was a solitary life, but as you became more comfortable with the itinerant lifestyle, you found you were able to make a decent living helping the people of the frontier. Merchant Guard. You signed up for a small trading guild, providing security as the guild's caravan made trading runs between the inner sphere and the periphery. It was a largely uneventful life, but you were able to put your mech warrior skills to good use in the occasional scuffle with pirates and uncooperative local governments. I would double down on gunnery, but you do get a lot of experience throughout the game. So in this case, I'm going to do what I would usually do, which is become an Inner Sphere Merc. Not that I need the tactics, I just like playing the Merc storyline. So in this case, I will not be choosing for stats, I'll be choosing for things. This might change for the second playthrough if I end up screwing this up, by the way. Until years later, you cross paths with Raju Mastiff Montgomery once again. Your chance brought you to the Euregan Reach as your mercenary crew took an ill-fated contract against an enclave of pirates on the outskirts of the Euregan space. The job went south and you were the only survivor of your unit. Raju's Lance happened to be on the patrol nearby. After rescuing you and helping to honor your fallen comrades, he offered you a job in the House Arano Royal Guard. So it is that you find yourself reunited with your old mentor, preparing your ancestral backjack for guard duty on the coronation day of Lady Camilla Arano when everything goes wrong. Everything is better when you live in your dream. We'll go with this face. Customize it a little. Try to make it lighter. Make that darker. Believe Lana's eyes are yellow, not that you can see it. Skin is fine, lips are fine, makeup's fine. I'm going to go with red to go with the Torian style colorations. Oh, if I was basing this on Quinn, I would have taken that butterfly look. So, quick. There we go. Bird. Yeah, we'll just go with that one. Make the lips purple. Okay. Alright. Here's your call sign. Lucia. Panic Bird. First name Lucia. Last name Lushasha. Actually, I believe it's Lushasha. Lucia. Pronouns. They do have the whole gambit of he, she, they. Yeah. Neat for those who like that sort of thing. Lana. Are we gonna do that? Alright. First name Lana. Last name Lucia. Yeah. So there's my skills. Piloting leaves a little bit to be desired, but all the others are a little bit better. These will be kind of important for the first couple missions, but as I get experience and stats, these will start to even out. Story so far. On the day of Lady Mia Orano's ascension to the throne, her uncle, Lord Espinoza, and his daughter, Victoria, launched a desperate coup. Both surprise, sabotage, strengthened numbers, their forces quickly secured the capital and solidified control over the Euregan government. Yeah, you don't get a catapult till way later. With help from you and your old mentor, Mastiff Montgomery, Lady Camilla, along with her close friend and advisor, Alexander Madeira, attempted escape. Mastiff sacrifices himself to cover their exit, but their dropship is destroyed in the attempt. In the aftermath of the battle, you and your mech are recovered by Darius Oliveria, the executive officer of a small mercenary company in need of a new commander. 3 years later. Yeah, I don't think I got a catapult until like really recently in game. Like I think like 200 days into the campaign. I did get an awesome around the 120 day mark, but I actually couldn't use it for a while because I couldn't afford the PPCs for it. It's really dependent on the missions you take and how lucky you get. Oh wow, they skipped the whole conversation part leading up to this. They just... Oh, that's right, that happens after this mission. We got IPL representative. The Independent Prospectors League thanks you for assistance, Commander. We're miners, not soldiers. We can't fight these bastards off on our own. Darius, that's what you pay us for. Don't worry, we'll get your platforms back. This isn't about reclaiming what's ours. Majesty Metals killed hundreds of us when they tried to jump our claim. We want you to make them bleed for what they've done here. Commander, the OP4 is holding 2 of the IPL's mining facilities. The first, designated Alpha, is where they are keeping the turret generator. Move in fast and take it out. Those turrets hit hard, so you'll want to neutralize them ASAP. Platform Bravo is the site of OP4's corporate security tower. Engage and destroy it. If they bring in a mech to protect it, take that out too. Then circle back and we'll collect our pay. That's right. I'm ready and waiting to authorize the transfer. Now go on, Commander. Hit those corporate pigs where it hurts. We'll be watching the action from here. Alright. So we have a bunch of medium to light mechs. We have Panic Bird, me, Glitch, generated character, Behemoth, generated character, Decker, character. These 2 are up for being renamed if you buy the $20 donations or incentives, and I will rename them accordingly. You first come, first serve. You get to pick which one you want. There's a 5th mech warrior who's on the ship. I never want to name anybody after Decker, not because I don't think Decker is cool, but because I don't typically tend to use him much because there's an achievement for him not dying. He's well known for dying in the first mission. So now that we're 50 minutes into the stream and actually getting to the first level, let me take a look at see if anybody has done anything. Also want to thank everybody for coming out today and enjoying some of my dorky time together. Done anything. Also want to thank everybody for coming out today and enjoying sorry about the some of my dorky time together. All right. So there's 2 you get 1 movement action, which is just your regular move. You can jump as well. You can move or jump. Sprinting takes up your shooting action, and then you also can shoot if you have a target. These little triangles you see right here, this is your evasion stat. This tells you how well other things can shoot you. Next over here, you have your heat stat. As long as you are below 85%, or no, this is your Badland biome. This is a biome skill, so this is units in Badlands sink only 85% of their normal heat. Next is your heat bar. This is how much heat your mech can handle. This is determined by your weapons. Lasers have a lot of heat. ACs tend to have a little bit less heat. Melees don't tend to do heat, but jumping does tend to cause heat. Next is your stability levels. The first 5 levels all mech warriors can take, and then every level after that is based off of your piloting and how well you can handle being unsteady. There are 2 phases to the game. There's the battle phase and exploration phase. You start off in the exploration phase where you're going to look for the enemy. Not every battle starts that way, but most do. Battle phase is kind of straightforward. Every time you do a battle, you get into you complete to a battle. So there's that. Once you get into a battle, you'll start shooting and gunning and doing all that fun stuff. Since jumping won't get us further, and we're trying to go this way, we're gonna. So you can deal with either of these in any order. I have learned that even though I have taken out this turret generator before, I think I've still had these turrets be online, frustratingly enough, but I also have had it that if you come over here and fight, these turrets are online, so you sometimes just have to deal with things. We'll sprint this way. Facing is important. You can only fire sprint unless your mech happens to have weapons pointing out of its back, and it's rare for a mech to have weapons pointing out of its back. First mech is a blackjack. It's a decent scout mech. I don't like the initial build of the Okay. We'll jump.
No
So you can see jumping, lands, and the glitch generated some heat.
Standing by.
Shadowhawks have a decent amount of fire, but tend to be a missile boat, and then Decker isn't a spider. The spider is awful, but it's fast and can get a lot of evasion. So I tend to use him as a scout for the first mech, and then immediately try to replace him. I usually replace my scout mech. My end goal for scout mechs are to get
Cease your advance immediately, or you will be fired upon. Ready for orders.
Yeah. Wait, no, wait, why? I can't save scum. I literally backed up and turned my back to face against an enemy mech. Luckily, this mountain is probably in the way.
Reporting enemy contact.
Yes. Because of this game, I do have an attachment to the Blackjack, but I don't tend to prefer the BJ1 variant. I tend to prefer making kind of my own variant.
What can I do for you?
I don't want her to jump quite yet. I don't, because if I jump and get line of sight, both of these mechs are going to see her.
Yes, Commander.
Reporting internal damage.
I've been sensor locked.
Damage minimal.
Orders.
Alright, we've got a spider and an unknown mech. We'll brace for now. What I'm going to try to do is try to use him to break the turret generator. Commando! Commandos aren't particularly... Well, no. Like, they are a scout mech. I don't think they're particularly good, but in lore they tend to be fine. Did this guy just try...
Receiving you. Waiting on you, Commander. Moving out.
Vindicators have a PPC, which is really nice, but... like... kind of between everything else. I'm mostly just trying to, like, just get this guy's evasion down so I can do some damage. Ooh, nice.
Good to go.
think I take the chance. My Blackjack's one of the heavier mechs out here. And honestly, I think if I can kick some damage into this... yeah, see how he's getting hit by turrets on the other side?
Warning. Enemy sensor lock detected.
I've been sensor locked.
Yes, Commander.
This is daring even for me.
Off. Locked on.
Yeah, that's daring for me, but it also means everything that's gonna want to shoot him is gonna have to put in some effort. Oh, that was a mistake. Commandos need to move quickly. You can't trade like that.
I hear ya. Commander. Lifting off.
Yeah, they do, but that's fine.
Firing.
Alright, cool. We got the turrets out the way.
Brought it down, Commander.
That was daring, but I was able to capitalize on it, so now all the turrets in the area are down. There's a couple turrets, I think, over here, because there's another turret generator, but... Alright. Can I split fire? No, then we'll precision fire. I'm gonna go for one of its arms, try to see if I can just remove some of its weapons. Oh, nice! And a head hit. That's really good.
Enemy mech. Critical damage detected.
Alright. He's missing... I had hit the wrong arm. I believe the laser is mounted there, but I hit the wrong one. Yeah, had I thought about it, I would have taken out the leg.
Waiting
Oh well.
for orders. I leap. I soar. Here we go.
That Spader really, really wants to kick my Blackjack.
Standing by.
We're gonna sprint and then brace to get rid of some heat. All right. Okay. Yeah, it's like
Enemy mech destroyed.
that's what I was thinking. I was like, this mech really wants to just throw like hands.
Got it.
I don't want to LRM.
Time to die.
We're just trying to take off some evasion.
Hey, stand still when I'm attacking you. Waiting for orders.
There's no point in trying to attack because I just have really bad attacking, so it's better to actually just like kick.
Moving out.
All right, good night. Hey, spider's down.
That's a kill.
All right, we're gonna try to get into this forest a bit and cool off for a round.
Uh-huh.
I'll let Behemoth
On
go a
my
bit
way.
quick and kind of stick out. She's got a lot of armor and in good shape, so we're gonna put her into a good position. Everybody else is gonna get into cover. Yep. Heat, stability, all that. So, brace, 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 brace.
Stabilizing. Engaging coolant system.
So now our mechs are in kind of good position, so we're gonna kind of try to move Burb up there.
Don't need to tell me twice.
Ready for orders.
Decker will jump. Or sprint.
Move order received.
I copy.
I don't think I'm allowed to shoot in this version, but it would be really nice if I could throw some hands.
Commander,
There is one mech and 2 vehicles.
on it.
Bold move, Cotton. Decker in this mission I tend to send wide and trying to put in like just heat on other targets.
Firing a full salvo.
Like I don't tend to keep him close to the group, I tend to try to get him off on his own. Not because I'm looking to get him killed, just that he tends to have better evasion if I get him moving far. Good.
Engaging target.
There you go.
Target building destroyed.
We do not want to underestimate Scorpion's AEC-5s are nothing to scoff at.
What can I do for you?
This is what can show how good missiles, LRM missiles can be. Because I was basically able to put that shot just wherever I wanted. Hit the Shadowhawk up. I don't tend to like using this mech longer than I have to.
Locking in.
Oh wow, that was just straight up a headshot.
The sooner we can collect our pay and break orbit, the better.
That is
Waiting for orders.
just too good.
All weapons are go. Reporting. One less vehicle. Good to go. Confirmed.
On my way. Affirmative.
Moving to defense.
Receiving you.
I read you, Commander. Moving out.
Yep.
Copy that.
Resolve gives you bonus effects when it's half full. It gets +1. Morale is really good, and there's very easy ways to get it to start pretty high. I'm all the way at full.
Orders. Got it.
You betcha. Roger that. Coordinates received.
Now, there's a little bit of a oopsie doodle in this mission that I kind of get to abuse because I know it's coming.
I copy.
It worked, Commander. We should have no trouble mopping up the other platforms now that their defenses are down. We get the job done. Speaking of which, I wasn't finished. These platforms won't do as much good if we can't hold them. Majesty Mail's taught us that, so we're going to need your battle mechs. You're going to want to reconsider that. Why? Your lance has already been targeted by our turrets. Now power down and surrender, and we'll let you walk. Or try to fight, and we'll tear you to shreds. Your call. Well, there goes our goddamn heyday. Hold tight, Commander. We're on our way. So, you can see they have 3 tanks, 4 turrets. All the turrets are going in the last position. They've been going in the last for a while now, but they've got a few tanks we're unaware of. We're going to need to absolutely destroy the building, but for right now, we do have some things going for us, so we're going to try to get some...
On my way.
We're going to try to use what advantages we have, and first is going to be making Decker try to take it, like, flank and take out vehicles. Tanks, while they can be really powerful, they aren't end-all be-all. So if you can take them out quickly,
Acknowledged.
you can get some good effects in place. I'm gonna move my blackjack to here, and we're gonna try to take out this turret generator. It's got 100 health. I want a precision shot just to get as much into that as possible. I just don't want to take any chances of it surviving. Everything hit, of course. But there's all the turret generators down.
Target building destroyed.
I hear ya.
The thing with the lighter mechs is they can get a lot of movement and still fire their weapons, whereas these guys can't as much. What if we're shopping? And the vehicle's destroyed. Yeah.
Knocked out.
That I didn't want to let shoot.
Orders.
Alright. Sprint.
Copy that.
Now we have Behemoth on the flank, Decker on the other flank, and then Panic Bird and Glitch can go up the center.
Commander,
Decker can go for the flank. Wish there was a way to skip these action runs. Cool. Brace. And a machine gun, which does hardly anything to vehicles.
Waiting for orders.
This is probably overkill, but I don't want to deal with you. There we go, there we go, there we go. Super quick, super efficient.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, I was trying to get this guy to come forward, and then I can up and give it a go. Ooh, that's gonna cost money to repair. Ammo costs money. Lasers cost just heatsink. Noted, ammo typically doesn't tend to need to be replenished, but I like to go by the method of I have to pay for my bullets. Stand by for extraction, Commander. Let's get the hell out of here. Oh, and Darius? I know, Meyer. I know. You want another team meeting. Give the man a prize.
Mission successful.
Alright. There's the first mission. We got 0 pay. We got no faction changes. We've completed all the objectives, and that's it. So, hour and 15-minute long stream session. Oh, Infinity V0, thank you for the follow. I do appreciate it. But yeah, so for those watching this YouTube video, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed. We'll catch you next time. For those who are watching this on stream, just give me like 2 minutes. Just need to stop and then start the recording. Yeah, that's the basics of Battletech. As a reminder before I start the recording, just so I don't repeat myself, there is a link to my Extra Life page below. You can find it. You can find it and donate if you got some free money. I currently have raised $85, and then for those who want to know, there are 3 incentives to replace the names of the mechs currently under my employ to be named after whatever you do. It'll ask you what you want them to name it, and then when it sends me the alert, I will get that name. But thank you to everybody who has donated so far. The last person was anonymous, so I have named the last person Eenie Mouse, and that will be every anonymous donor will be known as Eenie Mouse. All proceeds go to Boston Children's Hospital, and we super appreciate them. They're very kind and generous people, and we could not get this done without their help. Thank you to that. Alright. Hitting the record button. Or actually, I am hit the next button. Forgot to show this, oh well. Now I'm hitting the recording button. Welcome back, YouTubers, to Mission 2 / start of the story and build up. I'm kind of running this as like an old YouTuber I used to watch. Beagle does it, where he does all of the in-between mission stuff, and then the mission itself, and then the end of the mission is the end of the recording. So, thank you all for watching. Please, if you're watching this on YouTube, do all the usual stuff, like, subscribe, follow, all that jazz. There we go. I did the YouTube thing. So now let's get started. Sumir, you need to start finding us better clients, Darius. I mean it. We've been slumming it on the ass into the frontier for 3 years now, and we are drowning in debt. I'm fully aware of our financial situation, Meyer, but I can't just conjure up new clients out of thin air. Lana, do me a solid and back me up on this. That why you made, and then you have your options are, that why you made me commander so I can bring up fights. If we're really that hard up on cash, we need to stop talking and start doing something about it. No thanks, Darius. I didn't take command of this outfit. So I'm going to go with this one because we're going to be the responsible one. Yang. Hey, you'll hear no argument from me. When we made you our commander, we all agreed to follow your league. Darius, could you walk you through the details of this trouble we're in? It might help if you broke things down point by point. Sure thing, Yang. Point 1. Mayor's right. We're in debt. Every sea bill we make technically belongs to the banks. Point 2. This corner of the frontier is a dead zone for mercenary work. There are clients, but they're terrible. That's just fact. And that's it. There are no other points. Okay, what's our best case scenario? How many jobs will it take to repay the loans? Why not refuse to play? We can afford to throw our weight around. We've got battle mechs. Okay, so we're in a bad spot. What are we going to do about it? I like this one. I always go with this one first. It will bring us back around to the answer, but yeah. That wouldn't be a very good idea, Lana. The banks wouldn't come for us themselves. They'd hire mercenaries, and you already know how hard up frontier mercs are for work. If we stiff the banks, we'll wind up dead or in debtor's prison. Out here in the frontier, those are basically the same thing. Okay, well, what's our best solution? Truthfully, I can't even say. We're in a pretty deep hole, and from where I was standing, I don't see a whole lot of daylight. The thing is, these banks, and I use that word loosely, they don't want us to pay off the loans. They'll do whatever they can to keep us on the hook. Is with fees, jack up our interest rates, misfile our paperwork, trying to find us a way out of this. But it's gonna take time. And every day that passes, we accumulate more debt. If we keep going like this, like we have been, screwed. Okay, so we're in a bad spot. What are we gonna do about it? I don't see anything else we can do, Lana. I'm already serving up every legitimate contract I can find. Unless you want me to sidestep the mercenary review board entirely, we're basically out of options. Go around the MRB? No thanks. Taking an uncertified job is a great way to wind up with a knife in your back. We just got betrayed on a board-certified contract, gang. How much worse could it get? Plenty. What happened down there was an exception, boss. With uncertified jobs, it's the rule. Remind me again why we don't just skip town and head to a nicer corner of the periphery? Because the banks and the jump ship crews have an arrangement. Unless we pay up, they're just gonna keep us. They're gonna keep us on a short leash. That's a good reason. Look, Darius, Mayor's right. We need to start earning some real money. We need to do it soon. Only a matter of time before something breaks down that I can't fix with duct tape and good instruction. Origin betrayed. I'm no stranger to betrayal, Yang. I lost my family to someone who I thought was a friend. Doesn't change the fact that we need money. Sometimes know what to do. At the end of the day, I'd rather go down fine than wind up broke. I'm gonna go with the Origin Betrayal one just because I have it as an Origin. Yeah, boss. Much as I hate to say it, I agree with you. We need to sidestep the MRB. Guess I better mentally prepare myself for that knife in the back, huh? It's settled then. I'll start digging for contracts outside the MRB system. Who knows? Maybe it'll work out for the best. Isn't like we've got all that much to lose. Meantime, we need to find another paying job. Our prospects in the system have completely dried up. I recommend booking travel to a neighboring system and seeing what the review board has for us. With any luck, we'll find enough work to keep going until something better rolls in. Travel. The banks are holding our jump ship access hostage until we repair decks. For now, we can only go between Rukwon and the nearby systems of Alloway, Bellerophon, and Detroit. Oh god, Detroit. Our top priority now needs to be finding work so we can raise cash. None of our contracts here are very good. I picked out the only viable one I could, and it helpfully includes our travel fees as part of the deal. I might have command answer when you're ready to review it. Alright, we're gonna go to the barracks. And this is what we got for Mech Warriors. We've got Panic Bird, Medusa. He tends to be my scout. Glitch tends to be my gunner. He already has base gunnery skills, so I tend to go into that. These skills I do tend to change around. I think last time I went into tactics to give her sensory because sometimes she just doesn't always have range, and sensory is really good at removing 2 sensor nodes from somebody rather than just shooting them to remove 1. Decker, who is kind of an amateur. He's a new pilot. He doesn't have any particular skills left. I tend to take him down the piloting route just to give him, because I tend to use him as a scout alongside Medusa, so I tend to take him down the piloting route because he can tend to get shot a lot. Next, I tend to take him down guts or gunnery for better shooting or better health. Guts tends to be better to do with him just because he's got a glass jaw. Behemoth is got guts and can take hits. I tend to run her as she's got guts, so I tend to run her as my vanguard / frontliner, and I tend to run with piloting because it helps with the unsteady threshold and her being able to dish out hits as well as take them. I had done a playthrough though where I've done guts and tactics, and then just got the skill ups to give like bonuses to hit and to cripple and stuff. So both are good. As you level up the characters, so we're gonna go down to this 1 gunnery just to get the base weapon skill 10. As you do that, their salary goes up. So you can have a bunch of lobies that aren't very good but are cheap, or you can have a bunch of skilled players but no money. It's
Training complete.
Good to go.
I want to save up to get her sensor lock.
Aye, aye. Mech Warrior training complete. Training confirmed, Commander.
Run skirmisher, so I'll probably go cool at Battletech. I just want to get the double shots out the way. Oh yeah, that gets our characters out the way. Now to go to the mech bay.
Need something?
Hey boss, welcome to mech bay, my own little heaven right here on the ship. Something I can help you with? On an assessment on the Leopard. How much trouble are we on? Don't know. I mean, we're doing good for the moment, but give it a few months, maybe a year. You know how it goes. Eventually everything falls apart. Got a few questions about the mech bay. This gives you tutorial stuff about the mech bay. I don't need them, but I highly recommend people do them. Basically tells you how to storage, how to component, how repairing works, changing loadouts on the vehicles, heat, stability, mech bay work, all that. That's a long story, boss. Shortest version I can give you, I signed up on after I served my term in the Third Succession War fighting for the Capellan Federation. If you want to know more, you can ask whatever you want. Otherwise, let's go back to talking. Where are you from originally? Brian, in the Confederation. You may have heard of our claim to fame, the Crowley Lizard Cow. No? Well, trust me, they're delicious. Anyway, as the story goes, Bryant was a really nice place once, a tourist spot, big with hikers and fishing enthusiasts, pale blue skies, emerald green seas, booming agricultural business. You know the works. Never knew it that way though. Stefan Amaris got it a couple of susheries before I was born, and well, that was that. Stefan Amaris is the biggest douchebag in the entirety of Battletech history, and that's saying something. Fat Genghis Khan is a piece of shit, and everybody should dislike him. As the story goes, Bryant used to have these enormous orbital mirrors, storm inhibitors they call them. The Star League put them in place when Amaris took the system in a civil war. He had his troops use them for target practice. Without those mirrors, Bryant returned to its natural state. Miserable little ball of wind-blown dirt, actively hostile to human life. By the time I came along, the only places where people could live in relative safety were the planet's poles. Of course, you can't fit the planet's entire population into a handful of cities at its poles. There isn't enough space, no matter how far you dig or how tall you build. A lot of people, mostly the poor, died in the early days. There's still a lot of overcrowding in Bryant cities even now. Second, St. Ives Lancers, 1st Battalion under Major Ling. We saw more action than most. The arm is a souvenir of my time in the service. I lost the original back in 3010 on St. Loris. You know, when we first arrived at St. Loris, I loved the place. It's an agricultural world, sort of a breadbasket for the neighboring systems. Green fields, rolling hills, you get the picture. We just walked out of hell on Kittery, and the Fed Rats, which is a slur for Federated Sons, drove us out in 05 with our tails between our legs, so it looked like paradise to us. We were kicking back in the mech bay, my feet propped up on an engine block, sipping on a snifter of ambergris vermouth. Not a bad way to spend a Sunday afternoon. Anyway, turned out the Federated Sons weren't done with us. We were barely a month into our deployment when they sent the City Hussars to burn us out. Sure that there was a sound strategic reasons for House Davian to want St. Loris, but it sure felt personal to me. Long story short, one of their scouts managed to slip through our perimeter and hit my mech bay. I was tinkering around in a Centurion's custom-made rumble seat at the time, and being surrounded by all that armor is the only reason I made it out alive. Still, I didn't make it out unscathed. Lost my 2 favorite assistants and my own right arm. I've got this ugly grafted onto me as a reminder. As you leave the Capellan Confederation. After my tour, what you mean? I don't know, it was just time for a change. Besides, the place wasn't for me anymore. The way it never really was. I learned a lot from my time in the service. Got a first-hand view of the elusive bullshit that saturates Capellan culture, how it rewards highborn idiots at the common people's expense. Speaking as a thoroughly common man, that didn't sit right with me. When my tour was over, I picked up my things and made a beeline for the periphery. Seemed like a good place as any to find a new beginning. I never get away from the aristocracy, Yang. Hell, I was born a noble. Yeah, but you're a competent noble, and you aren't afraid to get your hands dirty. At the end of the day, that's all I really care about. Or how many times I watch talented engineers get passed over for promotions so some idiot with a title could advance. We need to count. For what it's worth, I'm glad you made that decision. You've brought my mech back from the brink more than once. Way more than once if memory serves. Still, I appreciate the kind words. And for what it's worth, I'm happy to have you here. Happy to be here with this crew. Going career military would be an enormous mistake. In your position, I probably would have done the same. Let's talk about something else.
Talk to you later.
Oh. And then we can go through the mechs. I can tell them to repair We've taken some damage, so I gotta repair, but it's just simple. It's just taking a little bit more damage. We also have a locust, which is honestly better than the spider. It's about as weak, but it tends to live. It tends to have more mobility and can get around a little faster. All right, navigation. All right, next character.
How can I be of service, Commander?
Hey, Commander. Something I can do for you? Does the decision we made about uncertified contracts satisfy your concerns? My concerns won't be satisfied until our creditors have been paid and the loan shocks are off our backs. This is a step in the right direction, and that makes me happy. I'm not blind to the risks that uncertified contracts entails, by the way. I mean, I know what we're doing is dangerous, but it's the best chance we've got to dig ourselves out of this hole. Then you can go to navigation. Again, lots of tutorials. More than willing to help, but it's very... You have to read it all, but it is very concise and gets you it. Collected stories about the crew. Tell me about yourself. Well, from a noble family like you, we're old money, made our fortune out in Rosalhog, then repatriated to the Taurian Concordate. That's where I grew up. Not sure if this is the kind of stuff you were hoping to hear, but we can talk about whatever. Where in the Concordate are you from? I grew up in New Vandenberg. It's a nice enough place, I suppose. You like birds? Sure, I guess. Named after a bird. Then you'd like New Vandenberg. It's basically one big aviary. Something like 2/3 of the native fauna has feathers, flutters on the wind, and splatters its excrement across every available surface. Naturally, the original colonists adopted the feathery little creatures into the culture, and those of us that came after were kind of stuck with it. Statues, fountains, murals, you name it, just a giant feathery pile of screeching alien birds. If the system had a model, it'd be Squawk. Cute. Maybe if I hadn't grown up with it. Maybe you learned to pilot a leopard. Anyway, the Taurian Naval Institute on New Vandenberg, well, among other places, it's a big campus. The low-gravity training station orbiting Lompoc was my second home for a time. TNI flight training isn't usually open to civilians, but my parents had a good credit back then, and they could name drop Protector Calderon. That'll get you pretty far in the Concordate, for a while anyway. The other cadets in my class weren't especially happy showing air with a civvy, but they couldn't say much. I was nobility, they weren't. Everyone sort of kept me at arm's length, so I had plenty of time to concentrate on my studies. What can you tell me about House Mayer? You're looking at it. Parents are both gone, blood cancer and heart disease respectively. Both treatable, but they were out of money at that point, so into the ground they went. Ditto my brother David, who ran off to serve in the Third Secession War, and never came back. Strange, I lost myself. Yeah, I'm sure you're not. Nobody is, really. Rough galaxy out there. David was 13 years older than me and had a foot out the door before I turned 3. And my parents, well, they raised me by proxy. In the traditional noble fashion. There was no real bond there, even when I was young. None of this is to say that my folks were bad people. They weren't. They were just doing what they knew. Their upbringings had been outsourced just like mine was. So anyway, that's all I have to say about my family. They're gone. I'm here, in the end. So another question? Or should we get back to our duties? That you were from Ransong. It was a really long time ago, but yeah, as my parents told it, we were landowners on Pomme de Terre. It's an agricultural world, sort of a breadbasket of the Draconis Combine. Yes, I know Pomme de Terre means potato. Ancestors came from the planet Potato. Took me some time for me to accept that, but hey, here we are. Anyway, moving on. House Mayer's holdings were meager, but the value of that land was astronomical. Minor nobility, we were really very wealthy. And then the Third Succession War broke out. The political rhetoric got ugly. House Mayer didn't want a single part of what was happening, so my ancestors emptied their accounts and ran. As a rule, House Korea takes a really dim view of nobles who cut and run, where it's like traitor and vectors start getting thrown around. Combine, you really don't want to be on the receiving end of the allegations like that. I would be standing here if House Calderon hadn't granted my ancestors asylum in the Concordat. Now, in likelihood, House Meyer would have been wiped out even before I was born. And that's it for Mir. I do believe she gives you to if you're to Torian Concordate, like I went with, you can get stuff with her later on. Captain's quarters. We're gonna do that before we do the command center. We can make the mech look however we want. I would use the bird symbol, but I'm using it in a different campaign, and I don't want it to kind of, you know, sort of overpower. So let's see if we can find a different bird or some different wings. I like that. Alright, I'll do these. Yo, why is it coming at me sideways for having gray minis? Alright. Let's see. Lucia's primary color is blue. We're gonna go with God, that is a color. Just want to go with the blue. Alright, blue for the main color. Secondary color for Lucia is yellow. That is some striking Ukraine colors. Blue's alt is orange, so we'll actually look for... Yeah, we'll go with this metallic orange to go with that blue. And accent... We'll keep it black. A good accent. Dave. This tells you where your alliances are. I believe after you complete the campaign, you can kind of go wherever in the universe to do missions and get all sorts of stuff. And then you can go through, change up the patterns of your mechs. You know, whatever you want. Alright. Let's go talk to Darius. Hi, Darius. Always good to see you at Ops, Lana. Can I do something for you? I want to know more about our debt situation. Yeah, sure, that's fair, and I'm glad you're taking an interest. I've got time to get into the nuts and bolts if you do. What do you want to know? Remind me why we took out so many loans in the first place? How much time have you got? I mean, we've been hit with 1,000 expenses since we were forced to flee Coromandor. But I guess you'll most likely be interested in the big ticket items. Well, first and foremost, there's the Leopard. We still owe a lot of money on this ship, and losing her isn't an option. Then you've got all sorts of fallout from our impromptu trip across the frontier. Dump ship package, docking fees, miscellaneous traveling fees, all paid for on credit. Had a choice. There's more than I can get into. The loan we took out to set up Markham's family, etc., etc. That big gilding the lily at this point. The fact is, we're in a lot of trouble with a lot of lenders. But hey, we're mercenaries. We live for trouble. Who we debt to exactly? I want names. How about I give you the top three? First, you've got Blue Horizon. There's some big commercial bank on Learton. They're the ones that own the lease on the ship. Then there's Intrigue Consortium. They've got people everywhere, but they're based somewhere in Merrick space. We borrowed from one of their associates to make the jump away from Coromandor on the day of the coup. Finally, you've got Lockdown Lending. They're a frontier outfit from Hastur, and they're about as crooked as they come. I normally don't do business with an outfit like the Double L, but we didn't have a choice. They made a deal with Blue Horizon to buy half our debt. So that's the big three: a commercial bank, a shadowy financial consortium, and a bunch of leg breakers and cheap suits. Each of them is dangerous in its own way. That's enough money to talk for now. Let me ask something else. Some questions about running the company, and of course, more tutorials, but it's everything you need to know. This basically talks about your finances month to month. This talks about how contracts work. This talks about how your mech warriors and how to buy more. And events, which is what happens as you time passes. You get events that happen, and you have to handle them a certain way. Sometimes you get boons. Sometimes you'll get nerfs. Things happen. Out a few minutes to chat. I'd like to catch up. Yeah, sure. When you got time. Before any of this started, you worked for the Orano Royal Guard. Tell me about it. It was more than just a deployment. It was a full campaign. High Lord Tamati gave us the job back in 19. We were supposed to be assisting the Royal Guard to round up and eliminate a pirate clan on Fjord. Commander Markham thought it'd be easy money. It turned out to be anything but. We lost a dozen mech warriors in the 3 months on the Fjord campaign. Had to hose them out of the cockpits. Would have been more if it wasn't for Sir Raju. He saved our people's asses on more than one occasion, went out of his way to do it. The thing is, he didn't have to. We weren't under his protection. We were the hired help. A lot of people in Mastiff's position would have just used his cannon fodder, but that wasn't his way. He treated us as if we were his own. He was a good man, Lana, as good as they come. About yourself, Darius. Where are you from? I grew up in Nasu Heights, one of the HAB stations orbiting R2. 30 decks of economic stratification, with the corporate suites on the upper decks and everyone else crammed in the lower ones. Old man was a dockhand. He lived on deck 28, 2 levels up from the bottom, with the other station maintenance personnel. 12 hours a day, 6 days a week, my dad would load and unload cargo shuttles, vacuum-sealed quiller, and nutrient paste for people like us, and luxury goods for the suites upstairs. The old man must have unloaded 1,000 cases of Castelladon, eel roe, plump, succulent eggs the size of melon balls. I forgot to taste any, though. Even one of those tins would have cost him a half a year's wage. Anyway, Lana, I don't want to saddle you with my life story. Suffice to say, I got an eye full of what I didn't want to be on the Sao Heights, and I did what I had to change my circumstances. By the age of 16, I struck out on my own. Left the station with a handful of skills and an enormous wealth of contracts and a rucksack full of expensive caviar. Once I made it off of Nasu Heights, I never ever looked back. That's all you get for Darius.
Catch you later, Commander.
Alright. Look. Smugglers from Merrick. We've seen a rise in the quantity of unregistered small arms on Bellerophon. Heavily armed population makes Merrick operations more difficult. We've tracked the weapons back to a hidden smuggling base by pirate forces. That base needs to be destroyed. Negotiate. If I recall correctly, there is not a crap ton of salvage on here. We'll get one guaranteed salvage and go for some money.
Calculating course now, Commander.
Alright.
I wrapped up that job you asked for, Commander.
Mech has been repaired. Things work out. So now we're in the movement part of the phase, and time changes as you fly. You can also move timeline without needing to go into the thing, but you kind of want to make sure you're moving the timeline for a reason. If you're just sitting orbiting a planet, you want to make sure you're either healing a mech warrior, repairing vehicles, or waiting for something to change, because time is money in this game. And if you hit 0 in Iron Man mode, you lose. Shakedown. This is our first event. You're on the I don't know why I'm saying leopards. You're on the Leopard's Bridge with Samir, Yang, and Darius for the daily staff briefing. Darius says, sees 3 messages from the base. Loan sharks, Samir cut in. From the people who are financing us, Darius continued. They're considering rewriting the terms of our loan so it'll be easier to seize the ship if we miss a payment. As usual, they're only doing this because they believe we can't fight it in court. And then you have to make a choice. Sweet talk the banks, ignore the messages, or educate the banks about their mistake. I'll deal with it, you say. Later, you record a response. In it, you sternly remind your lien holders that as a financial institutions operating on Detroit 3, they must abide by local contract law. You even cite the relevant sections of the legal code. For memory. Then you point out that as you've kept records of all your payments and correspondence concerning your loans, you will be able to demonstrate in court that their proposed revisions to the agreed upon terms would represent such a gross violation of the law that you would undoubtedly be awarded a second dropship at the bank's expense. Once the camera is off, Samir says, there's no way they push you on this. Too bad. I'd like to see loan sharks grovel. Your company gained the following tags. Loan status, fair. I'm hoping not to stay on loan sharks for too long. Out of curiosity, I did look up the price exchange for the US dollar versus a C-bill, and it's about 10 US dollars to one C-bill, so things might seem a little cheap, but, you know, it's actually about add an extra zero to everything, and it starts to look a little bit better. We've arrived at Bellerophon. Commander, ready to proceed with the current mission? Not yet. I always say not yet. Gives me a chance to save. Or not. Oh, right, I cannot manual save in item mode. I wish I could, because then I could recover from a crash, but that's just what you gotta deal with. Let's see. Anything in the store? Nothing worth putting money on. There is the Phoenix Hawk, but I lose way too much money for a Phoenix Hawk. Phoenix Hawks are one of my favorite mechs to have. Marauder's another one I really like to have, but that's way, way, way too much money. And also, I don't have parts for it. But a Phoenix Hawk is probably one of the best heat managed and ranged mechs, so it allows you to get a lot done for a little bit of a price. Airbees are adorable, but I don't actually think I'll be able to play them in this game outside of missions that require me to use them. No large lasers. I was hoping for a couple large lasers so I could re-up the remove the two AC-20s from the Blackjack and replace them with AC-20s, but that's just where we're gonna have to be. Yeah. There is a Victor. Those are pretty tough. Would rather have the Phoenix Hawk though. Alright. Well, I'm not gonna be able to afford that Phoenix Hawk. Hiring hall, you can access different people. As I get new recruits, we'll possibly have people spend time on them.
Standing by.
Standing by.
Oh, this is one of the persons who spent some money on his thing. He actually gets a picture closer to himself, and he gets a whole background he got to write.
Commander.
Commander.
I'm here. I'm listening. Aye, aye.
At 3. I'm gonna go ahead and pick up Alley Cat.
New mech warriors available.
You can go through $1 million quick, but it's good to have about 6 to 7 mech warriors. As they take injuries, they take really long to heal, even when you get the fully upgraded ship later. Launch contract. Alright. I'm gonna put Shadowhawk, Blackjack, Vindicator, and we'll do Locust, because Locust is one of the best light mechs. I will continue to pilot my Blackjack for now. With all the weapons, the multi-shoot is pretty good. Shadowhawk is still our heaviest mech, so that'll go to Behemoth, who tends to be my frontliner. We're going to put Glitch into Vindicator, and I'm not going to run Medusa or We're gonna put you know what, we'll bring Medusa first. I'll bring Alley Cat at a different time, but I think if I remember this mission's actually you know what, no, actually it's not that bad. We'll put Alley Cat in there, and with it being polar, we'll actually swap the spider. I tend to like the Locust a bit better. It tends to be very heavier on armor, but the spider has actually got a little bit more internals and can jump. So we'll put Alley Cat in here and hope that I don't get her killed on my first mission using her. All right, and this is the second mission up. A reminder for those who are watching this that this is for an extra live stream. Thanks, because May 20th is a good Tukayyid day and tends to be, or what I'm hoping to make my new kickoff point for starting extra live streams for the year. If you donate, there are incentives that you can go spend $20. You can pay to have one of the pilots' names replaced, and I will. And it'll ask you what you want the name to be. Looking at it, I currently have no new donations, so if you can, do it. All proceeds go to Boston Children's Hospital, and even something as low as $1 can buy not used nappies, bandages, you know, little bits for people here and there. So yeah. Also, thanks for joining today, sure. Gotta keep that streak going. Alright, mission. Destroy structures and smuggling base and escape. We've seen a rise in quantity of unregistered small arms in Bellerophon. A heavily armored population makes Merrick operations more difficult. We've tracked the weapons back to a hidden base, smuggling base operated by pirate forces. That base needs to be destroyed. And then Darius's advice. I'm not expecting a lot of finish, Commander, but there are likely to be turrets. There's a bonus if we wipe out the base garrison as well. That's your call as the situation on the ground develops. Basically, he's saying there's secondary objectives, which secondary objectives gives you bonus end funds.
Command interface initiated.
Our intel is right. There are nearby reinforcements, but there are fixed guns emplacements. Move up, neutralize the turrets, level the base. Watch out for the garrison, Commander. It's nothing dangerous, but every bit of damage costs. Oliveria out.
Should have brought my winter coat.
Enemy detected.
Turrets.
Acknowledged.
I want to make sure I move. I'm gonna jump because even though I pick up a lot of heat.
Copy that.
Oh, did I just detect everything? I might have just detected everything. Oh, I detected everything. Alright, they have a light mech. We gotta be careful about that.
Yeah?
Oh. Alright. 4 AC2s, which is 25 damage each, 2 machine guns, 90 health. So, Alley Cat's not going to be able to deal with that. So, let's try to see if we can jump with it being so cold. Let's see if we can jump and see what the mech over here is. Spider's a good scout mech. Well, it's not a good scout mech. It's a scout mech. A commando. With it being so cold, which means heat seekings are improved by 20%, we'll go ahead and put some fire on it.
Here we go.
It's a miss. The guarding helps a bit, but hey, we can maybe split fire some missiles on the commando later. We're gonna try to see if my blackjack can take out this guy. Yeah. With it being 85% chance and so little heat gain, we'll drop 1, and theoretically we should give more than enough damage. Yep, everything hit, so.
Target destroyed.
gonna move here so we can put some fire on the commando.
Engaging target.
Yeah, that was what I was expecting. I'm not expecting to do much this turn, but yeah, you know.
Here we go.
Not quite enough to destroy it, but... Ooh, that was a bad hit. That was a bad hit. That was a worse hit. Ooh. I underestimated those turrets. Alright.
What do you need? Got it. I'm taking the shot.
He's probably gonna run up and punch because that evasion's just so good. Ooh! God, I forget how weak the spider is. Okay. AC-20s cost money. Lasers are free. Yeah, it's a good thing I fired all three.
Target destroyed.
Good to go. Location confirmed.
We're gonna move up. I don't have the best aiming at the commando. Do have good aims over here though. I kinda wanna try to take that out. We'll give it some precision strikes. Oh no, precision strikes, so it keeps it kind of the same. If I had split fire, I would fire my LRMs over here and everything else over here, but I don't have them, so we're just gonna fire everything.
All weapons are closed.
Awesome. Okay, the turrets are out of the way.
That turret is gone. What can I do for you?
I left Glitch a bit too far behind. I should still try to move up a bit. Try to see if we can take out that leg.
Aye, aye. Acknowledged.
Haven't quite hit that resolve, so we'll go ahead and put that in. Go for the leg. Try to see if we can remove that. Nope.
Ready for orders.
That's fine.
Roger.
We won't use the short-range missiles. We'll just fire everything else. Fire. Skip out on the SRMs.
Roger that.
Well, at least something hit. Why is he everything?
Enemy structure is weakening.
Waiting for orders.
Alright, there's a turret there. Spitfire.
Uh-huh.
And break something.
Good shot, Commander. Enemy structure down.
Okay, good. The spider managed to just dodge everything.
I'm here. Copy that.
We'll continue our little song and dance up here. Try to get more shots in.
Okay, I'm on it.
Oh, please destroy that arm. Nope. Wait, how do you get... Oh, if he went at 2 and then now he's at 3.
Barely hit, Commander.
Okay, he what? He has a large... Oh my...
What's up, boss? Move order received. Copy that. Waiting on you, Commander.
I don't have sensor lock yet, so...
You get a headshot, and you get a headshot.
What? Alright, cool. This shot was more to reduce its evasion, so I could try to get some more shooting in on this big lug. We won't fire the AC-20s, and we will reduce one of these lasers just to keep up some heat. I don't want to. I want to get my resolve up above 50. Right leg destroyed. Right arm destroyed. Pilot injured.
Enemy mech. Critical damage detected.
Last one initiative. Another injury.
Standing by. Understood.
Damage minimal.
I hear ya. You betcha. Ugh!
Target destroyed.
That was really Garrison. Finally, they're at it.
Did you see that? Did you see it?
Waiting for orders. On the move.
Target acquired.
trying to send a message. I'm gonna bring down that big building. Alright. A. B.
Engaging multiple targets.
I'm here. I'm taking the shot. Brought it down, Commander.
I wonder if medium lasers can melt steel beams. That's for those who don't understand my humor. That is a joke. Please do not cancel. Oh god. Okay, okay. Let's see. We're gonna put A or EB. Everything else on that building.
Engaging multiple targets.
It's time to bug out. Get to the LZ for extraction.
Well done. You managed to wipe out the Op 4. I can do reverse action right now. No need to get to our planned LZ.
Mission successful.
And yeah, that's mission 2. We destroyed the pirate garrison and we destroyed all of the turrets, which gives us a 25%, total 35% increase. So bringing us up to 180 over the 150 we initially had, which was higher than the base total. So we actually made quite a decent amount of money off that. The spider was slightly damaged on its torso, just a little bit of damage, but completely fine. And some kills for everybody, but the spider, which should have got a kill but didn't, so we're gonna be okay with that. They'd have gotten a kill. They'd have killed the mech if I didn't have tried to have them do the step. So, yep. So for those who are watching this on the video, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and we'll catch you next time. For those of you watching on stream, including in the YouTube live stream, yeah, I just want to thank you guys for being here. It's kind of nice to be enjoying some game I enjoy. We probably have enough time for one more mission, just because there's a lot of lore coming in. But let's see what we got. Do we have any new alerts? Anybody getting the incentive? No. So for those, as a reminder, if you wish to enjoy and want to name a character yourself, there is an incentive in my streams. If you go to the About section or the description, you'll go to my page to donate. If you donate, there should be an option to get one of the incentives. If you can choose to either force me to have to force in quotation marks, ask me, and I will reciprocate by doing a paint stream where I will paint a squad of some kind. I will prep it ahead of time and spend the day painting a squad and talking about 40k. Or you can, if you don't wish to pay $200, you can also drop $20 to name a Battletech unit. So yeah. Next, I forgot to do my salvage portion. Well, all I can get is that. This is why I wanted less salvage. There was only one thing to potentially salvage here. Cool. Alright. Nice. I'll start the recording here, and that way I don't lose any time. Hey everyone, welcome back to Battletech. So, I forgot to do this at the end of the last one. I'll try not to forget this time. There is a salvage this time that we got. I managed to get part of the commando that drops. We now have 1 of 3 in there, just a partial salvage. Some of these early missions, you might want to go more for the money than the salvage, but as missions drop, you'll get more and more salvage, and it's more and more worth it. So to pick up some of that, you can always sell them for a little bit of extra cash, but it also gives you a better chance of getting stuff you want to get from the battlefield. I've gotten whole like awesomes before off the battlefield, and like weapons that I tend to aim for. I'll probably actually just sell this commando for extra salvage. Yeah, it's not a whole commando. You need to get 3 different parts to get the commando, and I only got 1 commando part. And I'm not a big fan of the commando as a whole, so I'll probably just sell it for scrap. Scrap, how you can do it? Well, we'll go to the mech bay. Go to the mechs. Storage. I have 1 of 3 parts for the Commando 1B, which has a large laser and not much else. I'm not a big fan of the Commando, so we're going to go ahead and try to sell it for parts. We can scrap it for 56k, so we can scrap it. And then we can go over to the store. See if there's anything worth it. So there's the Commando 1 part that we, the 2D. And then there's other stuff, weapons, ammo, equipment, all that. We can also buy back, I think we can buy back what we sold. Honestly, I kind of want to, it's a risk. That still leaves me with more than enough to make the financial report at the end of the month. So and I can also sell some. I could sell some unused parts as well. So yeah, we will buy the Phoenix Hawk. It's a risk, but if I can get 3 parts for it, it'll be one of the most useful mechs in the entirety of this game. It's on the lighter side, but the fact that it can move so quickly and it's so heat efficient means that it can do a lot. And you can always drop one of its machine gun and ammo for more heat sinks, which is what I typically tend to do. So bays. We're gonna start a process. Let's see. So now we're gonna go into it. Let's give this a refit. So I want. Yeah. All right. 8 days, 250 work costs. If I can get another laser, I'll do the same thing on the other side and add 2 more heat sinks and also remove the air. So this will give me. Eventually, the goal will be to have 2 large lasers, 2 medium lasers, and then heat sinks to spare. But for now, this will work out pretty fine. Actually, I think I'll drop. No, because the large laser is a lot of heat. Its firepower goes down, but the large laser actually also does a lot. So we're going to put this in progress.
Right. I'll get it in the schedule.
And we need to repair the spider. So we'll need to wait at least 8 days for the next job, probably 9 to get the spider just in case we wanted if we're still on this planet doing work. Command center.
Got questions?
Nope.
I have answers.
Come on, Darius. So
Where to find
I think here we've got our first upgrade in progress. What do we got? $300,000 maintenance base. We operate a repair and maintenance base facility on Detroit. Oh no, Detroit. This base is critical to our operations in the system, and we suspect Fire Force are going to. assault our facility. We'd like you to hold off the assault until our forces can arrive to relieve you. You don't hire mercenaries on a whim. They know there's an attack incoming, and we're going to absorb it. Thankfully, all we need to do is hold out. Magistracy of Canopus. We have an opportunity to eliminate a key figure in the pirate hierarchy in the system, which will leave their organization in chaos and ensure safety for Canopian operations. The target will be relatively unguarded and vulnerable, and we'd like you to strike in this window of opportunity. Sounds like we'll be hitting a middle manager. Not much glory, but it pays. The target won't be a lone commander, but there's a bonus if we can clean up the escorting units. Still, if things too hard, we can always hit and run. Where is this though? Like, where? Because we're on an ice planet as far as I was aware. Oh no, it's arid. We happen to be fighting in an ice location. Yeah, we'll take the mission that's here.
Hey, Commander. Pull up a chair.
And we'll wait out the days. The fact that salvage is this low makes me feel like it's not worth it. I usually like to keep at least one salvage, so that way if there's like a large laser that I'm looking for to upgrade my blackjack with, I can get that. If there is some sort of mech like a Phoenix Hawk drop or something for whatever reason, I can get a good jump on it. So we'll take it. Except, no, I don't want to. Okay, I can't accept it, so we're gonna go up and we're gonna go till the blackjack is done.
I wrapped up that job you
All right,
asked
cool.
for, Commander.
Contracts, personal salvage, rank that cost up. 1. Try to get us back towards Ilion. Blackjack is ready. Spider is ready. We're going to take Alley Cat, set her aside for now. We're going to run Medusa. We're going to run this in a Locust because we are now in Badlands, which means this is not heat efficient. The Spider is pretty bad at heat efficiency. So these are our brawlers, and then this is going to be our scout. All right, mission's loading. I'm going to grab a drink.
Command interface initiated.
Commander Ayotal is right. The target is in the AO and only lightly guarded. And we're seeing a lot of pirate activity in the vicinity of the target. Take them out, get to the evac zone, and then we get paid.
Well, this is a hellhole.
Oh. That's the extraction point. Our target. Oh, these are supporting forces. I want to make sure I take out these supporting forces.
Orders. Ready for orders. Roger that.
We're sending these guys this way because they have jump jets. I don't mind the Locust going off on its own because it's going to have a lot of evasion, and Medusa's a pretty good pilot.
Engaging jump jets. Enemy detected.
Alright. 2 somethings.
Acknowledged. Ready, set.
Alright. So they are mechs. Really wish there was a way to skip out on this sometimes. Hey.
What do you need? Copy that.
It's going to get us danger close to the pirates, however, it's kind of what I want. Alright, 1 Locust and 1 Jinner. That's a problem with the computer mechs. That's a problem because it's going to be a pain in the ass to kill. But we took the high road. So we might be able to kill the Jinner while it has like no mobility.
What's up, boss?
Yeah.
Move order received.
I want to get this out the way quickly so that it's not running at Mach 20. No alarms, just everything else.
Roger.
As you can see, it's very easy to kill a Locust. Their advantage isn't that they're easy to... It's that they have evasion out the ass. This is all evasion stats. We want to make sure that we're
You, Commander.
keeping up our evasion as well as possible.
Coordinates received.
Spitfire. Put that there. This here. Drop the meters.
You get a headshot, and you get a headshot.
Awesome.
When I shoot you, you'll take it and like it.
We'll go here. Medium laser for a little bit of heat distribution. Maybe 2. We'll go with the higher percentage hitting lasers. More damage on the Jinner. This Locust is running. Yeah, see what I mean? It's... Moving Locust is a lot. It gets you a lot. It still has a lot.
Heading out.
Well, that's lucky.
Inflicted some heavy damage.
That is Basically everything I could want, because now he's just down to 2 medium lasers, which are a threat. Oh, that was not as much as good as I'd hoped.
Minimal.
We're gonna get some heat to try to get rid of this locust. But yeah, we'll precision shot it. Ceratosa, let's just try to take him out.
Engaging target.
Alright, good.
Enemy mech destroyed.
I hear ya. Taking the high road.
There's no PPCs.
Tell me what to do. Want some more, huh? Good to go. Roger.
Still managing to win on the initiative.
My armor's getting stripped off.
Alright, I can at least turn the enemy cinematics off.
Aye, aye.
It's tiny Mac basically kicking its big brother.
Engaging physical attack. Enemy mech destroyed.
Alright.
Aye, aye. Got it.
On my way. Waiting for orders.
I'm gonna go up in the rough ground, make it harder for him to hit me. Oh, that's a big mech.
What can I do for you?
The good news is I can start peeking him.
On my way.
Trying to put in some fire from the missile boats.
Got it.
Target damaged. Concentrate your fire and bring it down.
Alright. We're not trying to really get a shot here. We're just more trying to get the high ground. I will put an AC 2-shot into it and a large laser just because why not? I get +1 base, so it's good. It's on the arm I want to kick.
Commander.
No, okay. We're gonna just move forward then.
Acknowledged.
Put some more missile boats onto him. Spin. It's 30.
I
Oh.
copy.
Hitting that arm. Doing anything. It doesn't have a lot. The SR6 is
Standing by.
probably the scariest thing about it. Yeah, we'll go for it.
Coordinates received.
Is danger close, but worst comes to worst, it tries to hit me, and then I can just pull back. See if we can tee off on him. Okay, yeah, he's not trying to deal with us.
Engaging jump jets.
We're actually going to keep our heat down. We're just going to fire another shot like so.
Waiting for orders. Firing. Good to go. Moving out.
Trying to get myself up on this cliff with my jump jet units.
Receiving you. Moving out. Let's see if we like this.
Damage minimal.
Yes, Commander.
No reason to waste ammo if there's a low chance to hit. Oh!
Think
Not that matters too much, but take
Waiting
that.
for orders.
Okay. No PPCs. So
Uh-huh.
fire. Well, maybe we'll go hot for one round. Not even that hot.
Special delivery.
Probably only went that hot because we were. Interesting. Oh, please get that arm. Nope. Heat sinks destroy, but he's not firing much, so.
Damage detected.
Good to go. Copy that.
Get this little guy out of danger. We have our bigger defensive mechs in there. He's not really putting up much fight, to be honest.
Firing.
Okay. He's still got the SRM-6s, but I think that took out majority of his fighting capabilities. That being said, SRMs are pretty nasty. Like that.
Good to go.
I'm gonna put the PPC on him. I'm gonna precision shot PPC. We're gonna try to take out that left torso. Take out his missiles.
Firing on target.
Oh, hit. We destroyed another jump jet for all those that he's using.
Receiving you. Roger that.
We'll just put the large laser on now so we can cool off.
Engaging target. Enemy mech destroyed.
Commander, the area has been cleared. Darius has given me the green light to land immediately. Hold position.
Mission successful.
Contract payment increased by 25% by destroying the extra units. We got a decent payout. 212,000. Gonna really go towards paying off that debt I just got buying some Phoenix Hawk parts. No damaged vehicles. Everyone's uninjured. So, no sick bay. No repairs. 3 kills for Panic Bird, but that's fine. It was just the position where that character... I never try to prioritize, I just try to get kills. So we could try to go for a mech. We try to go for some SRM ammo, some SRM-6s, jump jets, or some medium lasers. There's not a lot here I want. I'm going to accrue medium lasers like crazy over the course of the game. LRM-5s can be pretty useful, but I don't tend to like running LRMs base unless I can get like a LRM-10s or 20s. So once you get to like catapults and stuff. Locusts, meh. I'll probably keep ours around in the collecting dust once I get the Phoenix Hawk. Jenners, I do not like. They are woefully incapable of doing much. They are a little better than Locusts as a scout unit. Not much better. Wolverines are pretty nice. Medium mech, 55 tons. It's got has decent weapons, but not my kind of weapon. I would probably, if it was for a mech I was going to keep, I would probably do the Jenner. But I'm not. I'm only getting one of these, so I'm going to go with the Wolverine because it'll sell for more parts. See, like I said, we're gonna all the extra ones we just get for items. I'm gonna end up with lots of medium lasers and LRM5, so there's no reason to worry about getting lots of stuff. Jump jets too. I'm gonna end up with tons of those. All right, and that's the end of that mission. So, for those watching the recording, well, thank you for coming. Hope you enjoyed. We'll catch you in the next episode. All right, we'll come back to this in the next episode. Yeah, for those who are watching the recording, thanks for coming. Hope you enjoyed. We'll catch you in the next episode. Good one. For those watching this on stream, I do want to continue to thank you all for coming out, and I'm enjoying my time playing Battletech. I'm looking forward to Sundays when I'll be playing this more regularly, alternating with Total War. I have kind of decided I'm not going to PNG tuber with Battletech just because a lot of the screen space is kind of needed. I have this tag at the top, and it still feels like it's in the way. But yeah, let's check our donations, see if we got anything new. Doesn't look like it. Reminder that $20 you can name a pilot, and donations are deeply enjoyed and preferred. We're gonna do one more mission and call it a night. But I'm not gonna do this story mission. I think I could still do the other mission and then go do the story mission. But yeah, let me start the recording for the next one, and then we will go into it. Negotiate me to 2 more... what? 2 more missions? No. I will not do 2 more missions because it is already like 10:45 and I do still have work tomorrow. I'll do 1 more though, rather than calling it. And you can always message me or join me on my Discord, and I'll be willing to talk about it. Battletech is probably my second favorite lore setting after, especially sci-fi setting. Especially because unlike other sci-fi settings like Warhammer 40k, where Warhammer 40k is kind of a science fantasy, it's fantasy setting that has science sci-fi stuff slapped onto it. Or Star Wars, which is also kind of a similar thing with your space wizards and stuff. Battletech tends to be a sci-fi, and the villains tend to be humans and no like weird third influencing evil party. It's just people being assholes. So I'm only willing to talk about it and play. And hey, Germ, you can always hit me up and I can show you my further file, which has some better mechs, and you can see what it looked like a further down mission looks like. Yeah, I'm gonna get to the recording. Hey everyone, and welcome back to Mission 4. I think I'm going to start labeling these as missions, which means I'll probably go back and voice over this. But welcome back to Mission 4. We're joining in with the next part of the story. So Darius has set us up after we've completed our second mission. Alright, everyone, gather around. After our last talk, I bit the bullet and started fishing around for uncertified contracts, and I might have caught us something. Who's the client? Unknown. She didn't identify herself in the message, but she claims to be a member of the Canopian elite. She says she's got a big old job lined up for us, and she wants us for it. Us, specifically. She called the commander out by name. How does she even know about us in the first place? It isn't like we're drowning in publicity out here. He looks like her looks changed. She's got good taste in mercenaries, whoever she is. I'm going to go with the first one, because that just feels like me. Good question. I'm betting we don't have an answer. You certain this client isn't really a bounty hunter? I can name a list of about 5 different banks that all love to repossess this ship. We're shopping for uncertified contracts behind the review's back, Yang. Hell, no, I'm not certain. For what it's worth, I can't confirm that she's rich. She reached out to us with a priority HBG message. Those things ain't cheap. Hyperpulse generators are a type of they can send terabytes of compressed information from one point to another at faster than light speeds. Everything, all modern PG arrays are owned and operated by Comstars. Remember to pay your phone bills. We'll meet this new mystery client, but that's all we'll do until we've heard her pitch. That sounds like a step in the right direction, at least. Rich is good. Like Rich. That's fair, Commander. We need to follow up on this, but that doesn't mean we can't be cautious. A meeting is just a meeting. What's the worst that can happen? Our new client vents us out the airlock, and our corpses spend the rest of forever tumbling through the icy vastness of space. Thanks for that delightful image, Yang. Look, Lana, I'll admit this is sketchy as hell. It's also the best lead we're likely to find. You want to follow up? Plot a course to Bellerophon. Client will be waiting. Made the Canopian mystery glasses ready for review in the command center. Take a look when you're ready, Commander. MechWarriors picked up a fair bit of combat experience. Head over to the barracks and review. And don't forget to take a stay. Yep. Yes. So, we don't have to take the mission if we don't want to, and I'm not going to. I'm actually going to. So this is part of the story mission, and we'll get them again and again, and they always come with like a quick thing. I'm going to actually do this mission. It includes pay, and it'll let us kind of go back and forth, so we're going to go through that. Because it's 17 days and my next payday comes up in 9 days, we're going to we're going to start this mission, but I'm not going to upgrade any of my mech warriors until after that, because that's a nice way to keep their pays a little low from at least billing cycle to billing cycle. All right, everyone, let's go to Detroit. And nothing can possibly go wrong. This is likely to actually have a decent number of mechs. But probably more tanks than mechs. We're going to go with a 232 payment because it's still a half land, which means that there's a lot of fighting. There'll be probably a lot more tanks and less mechs. So we'll do that, and we'll go for some decent salvage.
Calculating course now, Commander.
Time to go to Space Detroit. And yes, it is as bad as the regular Detroit.
I've got the financial report.
Yep. So that last mission basically played for the deficit of the current mission. This is going to be a real problem until we get it paid off, but eventually we can get it paid off. Next, I am actually going to go for the increased morale. It's nice to get... I usually like to keep things at generous because the morale boosts are just really nice and can slowly get you up to this thing, which means you deploy with bonuses to your morale. It's really good. Alright. Now I can pause and I can go to my Mech Warriors and I can actually upgrade them. I'm going to be playing Skirmisher. So I think I'm going to want...
Training complete.
I'm going to want to get that.
Waiting for orders.
Glitch I want to give the sensor reduction because she tends to only have one or two good weapons. So she's either firing at multi-targets or sensor blocking somebody, but I'm always getting some use out of her.
Training confirmed, Commander.
Receiving you.
Behemoth. I'm going to get her piloting because we want to get her... She's going to be taking hits, so she's fine for now.
Yeah.
Usa... I'm going to get you tactics.
Yep.
Cat. We're going to have you be gunnery. You're going to be kind of backup glitch.
Mech warrior training complete.
Alright, cool. So that's all of our mech warriors out the way. All of our mechs are fine. I'm just going to do a quick check to see if there's any upgrades to Do I got any? Nope, no new weapons. So uh, or you know, we have a lot of really cool stuff except for the one weapon I want. Fine. Yeah, Sin. Shadowhawk, Thunderbolt. Thunderbolts are really nice. They're very bulky, durable. For a I think it's like a 70-ton mech, 65-ton. Ah, the Warhammer. Awesome light. It is good enough. Sometimes in war, good enough is what all you need. Yep. Basically, I need to go do this mission, turn around, and go back almost immediately. And I need to get as much money out of this contract as possible. We'll proceed. There's nothing I really need here. We'll get our new recruit some experience. Actually, let's get Medusa some experience. I'm going to need him for that story mission. Yeah, we're going to continue like this. Blackjack and Vindicator backing up Shadowhawk, and Locust doing long-term missions. I don't want to use a spider unless it's in a cooler biome, and Badlands is not cooler. The Locust is going to basically do a lot of running and supporting on the flanks. Everything else will be kind of towards the middle. You don't hire mercenaries on a whim. They know there's an attack incoming. You're going to absorb it. Thankfully, all we need to do is hold out. Usually this means we'll have support like turrets or something. Just as overnight commander, this isn't going to be boring guard duty. Backing multiple incoming hostiles and picking up pirate chatter. Going on tight, commander. This could be ugly. So we have some buildings. And we need 2 of them to survive. And it is just us versus them right now. So we're actually gonna head out and try to I want to try to get as much hit on them as possible.
You betcha.
Move order received.
My basic goal is we're going to try to bring the fight to the pirates rather than sitting there. We're going to be, what's it, having a rolling defense. Right. Have some vehicles. There's a mech. That's a fast mech. He went far. Probably a Jenner or something like that. Another vehicle. Vehicles are easy to manage. Okay. Galleon tag.
Aye, aye. On it.
He gets this danger close, but I want to spot everything. Alright, it's just a locust. Okay. Medusa is going to focus on vehicle duty. We need to try to pinpoint as much. We want to kind of try to put as much paint on them as possible. Ultra AC5s. Yeah, I want to take. I do not want to deal with this any more than I have to. 50-50 chance, and you hit the side of a fucking hill.
I missed.
Yeah, I noticed. He's gonna go. He's moving into the cover. He's trying to get to the buildings ASAP. Luckily, he doesn't seem to have a lot of weapons, but these vehicles are going to be a problem
Good to
quick.
go. Waiting on you, Commander. I read you, Commander. Moving out.
Alright, my goal is going to be to punch the Locust. So for now...
Got it.
Yeah.
What's up, boss? Got it.
Can't spread my fire too much because I need to try to get these vehicles down.
Target confirmed.
Oh, never mind. Alright, that's one vehicle down.
Vehicle down.
We're going to try to take out the Scorpion. Basically, with only machine guns and a medium laser, it's going to take it the Locust a while to get through that, but this has small lasers and a tag. I think tags... I don't think tags are offensive, but this guy has Ultra AC5s. He will cut through buildings like they are butter. So we're going to try to put hurt on it and immediately cut through it like like a hot butter on knife. That's a Game Grumps reference.
Yep. Got it. Engage.
I don't care that you've got a lot of stuff. Okay, I'll just take out the biggest... Oh, it's only one crit. It's not... It's weakened, which means it hits a lot less well, but it's also like... Alright, let's try to take the tag. Got the AC-20, take everything else. This is why I like large lasers. One large laser doesn't do the same damage as one AC-20 and one medium laser, but it has the range of an AC-20 and better accuracy over short and long range. It tends to be a better all-rounder.
Coordinates received.
Yeah. Ugh.
Sensors locked on. Orders. On my way.
This is the strength of the Locust, the fact that it's so hard to hit.
Firing all weapons.
If the medium laser destroyed, that's the biggest thing to be worried about.
Picking up a new sensor trace. Looks like enemy reinforcements.
Minimal damage on that hit.
Standing by. Inflicted some heavy damage.
Okay. Alright. Fine.
Engaging jump jets.
Receiving you. On the move. Full speed.
Alright. I'm gonna try to get back up to defending over here, because apparently I have missed a target.
What can I do for you? Moving out.
These two will take out this guy.
This is gonna be good.
Alright, cool. It's gonna take me a little bit to get the Vindicator into place, but I can always just do the jump. The Jenner is just fast enough that I can flank around the opposite
You're
side.
dead.
Waiting for orders.
Alright, it's a mech. I don't know what it is, I just know it's a mech. It's two mechs. Now it has 4 lasers. Whatever it is nasty and quick.
Engaging jump jets.
It's a Jenner. Or we're going to try to remove some lasers. Alright, that has effectively halved the Jenner's power. I'm not even kidding.
Damage detected.
Both arms of the Jenner hold lots of medium lasers, so the fact that I managed to take one out
Standing
in
by.
so quick, highly efficient way of dealing with the Jenner.
Here we go.
I think this is a commander with a PPC, but I won't know until I get a better shot at it.
I hear ya. Don't need to tell me twice.
I'll be able to jump next turn with the Vindicator, but for right now we're just going to move the Vindicator a bit closer and put some LRM pain on the Jenner.
Hurry.
Oh, a Panther.
Yes, Commander. Move into position.
Is this danger close? But I want to get on this Jinner before it gets to re-up its We're in a precision shot. We're gonna put it all into the right arm, and we're just basically trying to remove all of its capability to fight. Alright, we didn't destroy its arm, but we did remove a medium laser. No, we only partially. Okay. We're gonna heat up like the 4th of July off of this, but we need pain. Yeah, I can't call shot it. Alright, if I can't call shot, there's no point. We're just gonna hit it hard.
Enemy mech. Critical damage detected.
Alright.
Ready for orders. Waiting for orders. Got it.
You know what? We don't have to jump the Vindicator quite yet. Gonna put some more fire on this poor Jinner.
Time to die.
Alright, cool. Even if it gets back up, it's effectively neutered, so now we can focus on our higher priority target.
Commander. Roger that.
I'm not gonna be able to see the Vindicator yet. Or Panther yet, but we can continue to pour fire in on this. Our torso destroyed. Ormec has been cored.
Hostile eliminated.
Okay.
Ready for orders. Heading out.
Again, we like to give our locusts some movements so that they get some decent, at least some evasion. Wait, how'd you miss? He's like right there, my guy.
Engaging jump jets.
I can't get too hot because I could easily blow myself up. So we're gonna cut out all the heat and just put some AC2 on this guy.
What can I do for ya?
Glitch, however, can get as hot as she wants.
Affirmative.
You get one jump in with a full heat round. Even go for precisions.
Uh-huh. Good to go. Heading out.
I'm trying to take that PPC down. We might still lose one building, but
connection on that one.
Yeah. Coordinates received.
See if we can take out the other leg.
All weapons are go.
Waiting for orders. Here we go!
Oh, there we go.
Want some more, huh? Commander.
Now it's a stepping contest. I turned that into scrap. I don't think there's anything worth salvaging from that. Yeah, from the Panther. Well done, you managed to wipe out the Op 4. I can do an extract right now, no need to get to our planned LZ.
Mission successful.
So that's the cool part, is we just completed the mission and I didn't lose anything. I don't know if they'll give me bonuses for not losing anything. Oh, all buildings survived. I did get bonuses and destroyed the pirate bank. I got bonuses. Nice. So this will cover the month's income from this, and then we can get some salvage too. No vehicle damage, extra experience for super golden. I super want just one large laser. My life for a large laser. Once more, not much here worth taking, other than the biggest mech, because the biggest mech will probably be worth much. So we'll grab the Panther. Then the Jenner. Jenner's worth a bit more, so grab that. All right. So yeah. So those watching the recording, that was Mission 4. I want to thank you for coming. Hope you enjoy and join us for Mission 5. Don't worry, starting from Mission 5 onwards, we won't have any more of the overlays. So thank you for coming, and we'll catch you next time. Please do all the YouTube algorithm things like follow, subscribe, all that jazz. Thank you. Alright. Go to the end screen. For those who are watching on YouTube, thank you so much for coming, and I hope you enjoyed. Thank you for watching this live stream, and I really enjoyed it.